Meetings already in the books in 2018. The Silver Boot Series is well underway. In the season opener in Arlington, the defending champions bested the Rangers in a 4-game series. But when they met in Houston, a different narrative, achieved by late-inning heroics.
Now with a tip, off the pitcher, and the Rangers take the lead.
That's into center field and well hit. A 2-run double off the bat of Robinson Chirinos.
Tonight, it's the third installment of the Lone Star Series as the Rangers return to South Texas to try and perpetuate their recent success versus their in-state rivals.
Well, there is something special about it. Roof open tonight. Here is the Lone Star Series, and the battle for the Silver Boot continues. The Astros and the Rangers, opening game of a big weekend series. Welcome in, everybody. It is an honor to be here. Fun one in store for you tonight. Great pitching and plenty of offense probably for you as well. For the Rangers, they're just excited. They're starting to see some of their regulars come back. We saw it last week. Adrian Beltre returned 4 hits in his first 2 games back. And today, the really good news. Rougned Odor activated off the disabled list. That means a move for Renato Nunez, designated for assignment. But the important thing is that Rugi back with the ball club, in uniform and in the lineup today. Now, for a little bit more on Rougned Odor, Emily Jones is standing by.
Yeah, there's never a good time for a trip to the disabled list, but for Rougned Odor, it was really bad timing because he had started the year slow and then really started to put things together the last few games before he suffered the injury, and then couple that with the fact that the team had had so many injuries, and it was the first time he had been on the DL in his career, and it just made for an all-around bad situation for Rugi. He tried to make the most of it, tried to keep a good attitude, all the while knowing he was working to get back to this point. So after a month on the DL, he is back and he is glad to be here.
It was pretty hard. I mean, first time I'm in the DL, it was pretty hard to me being out the field, out of the game, and it was pretty hard because I love playing the game. I love help my teammates. I love being around my teammates, and now I'm back, and I'm happy that I'm back.
And you wondered if Jeff Bannister would kind of ease Rugi back into things and not, allow him to face Justin Verlander, who hasn't had much success against. Not that he's alone in that category, but Banny said absolutely not. He wanted him as soon as he was ready to be able to get back out there and play, not only batting, but also playing in the field as well. So that is what will happen tonight, Dave.
All right, yes, thank you, Emily. And so, good news. I'll tell you what, we're getting bodies back, and even better news, look who's here. I have Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve. And Tom, when we're talking about guys coming back, that's one thing, but there's been one guy who's been here and has been very consistent, although really heating it up lately, and that's Nomar Mazara.
Yeah, he's really coming into his own as a power hitter, Dave. He's using the whole field like he always does, but with more power. He's hit 7 home runs in the month of May. That's the most in the American League. That gives him 10 on the season. 3 of them have come against left-handed pitching. His ability so far to handle left-handed pitching is making him one of the best hitters in the American League.
Okay, well, he's got a great challenge tonight as Justin Verlander goes for the Astros.
Well, Justin Verlander is obviously off to an exceptional start. All you have to do is look at the numbers. First in so many categories around Major League Baseball. He was great with the Tigers. He's been even better with the Astros. In 19 games, he's 13-2 with a 1.45 ERA.
All right, so he is their ace. The Rangers have an ace of their own, by the way. Cole Hamels has the ball tonight. His last 3 starts have been very good, and we put him in the spotlight next. Rangers Baseball is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Well, it is a perfect night for baseball tonight here in Houston in the opening game of this 3-game series. And you can bet it's going to be high intensity tonight. Time for our Shiner Box Spotlight. We're talking about Cole Hamels as we're going to break. Great numbers his last 3 starts. You see him right there on the screen. And for me, one of the big keys has been just 2 home runs allowed the last 3 starts. And you got to compare that to his first 4 starts of the year when he allowed 7 long balls. Seems to have that in check lately. And he'll have a good test today, too. One guy he'll have to take care of is George Springer.
Well, George Springer is a dynamic leadoff hitter, obviously. In his last 6 games, he's hitting close to 500. One of those games was a 6-for-6 game, raised his average about 25 points in that particular ball game. Against Cole Hamels this year, he's 3 for 5. He's hit 3 home runs. 2 of them have been leadoff homers.
Yeah, that'll be a key, keeping it in the yard. Well, you can't do much better than our matchup today. A couple of aces going and a great in-state rivalry. We got it next. Tonight, Rangers and Astros opening game of this 3-game series. Roof open tonight. Always makes for a much different environment here. Not one that Justin Verlander apparently a huge fan of. We'll get into that maybe a little bit later on here tonight. But first things first, about a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Texas Rangers. Rangers coming in 15 wins and 24 losses, and that man, Delano DeShields, at the top of things as always in center field. Shin-Soo Choo, the DH. Nomar Mazara in right field. Beltre cleaning it up at third base. But it's Gallo, Profar, and Rougned Odor back off the disabled list, batting 7th. Chirinos catching, and Ronald Guzman at first base. Well, they get to look at Justin Verlander. 4 wins, 1 loss, a 1.17 ERA. It's his 9th start of the year, but he is coming off his first regular season loss as an Astro. Pitched well at Arizona, 6 innings, but allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, walked 3, a season high, and struck out 8. And he gets us started today with a fastball to DeShields for strike 1. Now Delano's been Mr. Consistency up at the top of the order, and he takes a low strike. Just like that, the count 0-2. 83 degrees here at game time tonight. Nice and warm. They had the roof mostly closed during batting practice just for shade. Now a comeback here, and it's right to Verlander, one away.
It's been an exceptional start to the season for Justin Verlander. The pitches he likes to feature are in his arsenal. 62% of the time he throws fastballs. A lot of the guys that throw fastballs throw a two-seam fastball. Most of his are four-seam fastballs. He wants it to stay up. Slider 24% of the time. Curveball 12%, and an occasional changeup. He's got a pretty good changeup. He just doesn't need to throw it very often because his other pitches are so good, especially the fastball and the slider.
He goes after Chu now and misses with ball one. So Chu batting second. One quick out for Justin Verlander. Chu did not play on Wednesday. Yesterday, a scheduled day off for the Rangers. Count 2-0. And that game on Wednesday, the first game that Chu has taken off this year. He's reached safely now in 8 of his last 9 games. 2-0. And this ball hit well down the right field line. Big foul. I like that swing. We haven't seen the power stroke lately for Chu.
No, he hit 5 home runs quickly and haven't had one for a while. Yeah, he got one right down the middle of the plate. I'm sure Verlander's saying, I'm glad he pulled that one foul. Got away with one right there. Chu was all over it. Just a little bit too quick.
Well, Chu does have a couple of home runs off Verlander in his career. By and large, it's been a matchup that has favored the tall right-hander. Chu hitting 183 off him and sends this one up into the stands. And that's in a significant number of at-bats. 13 hits and 71 at-bats in his career against Justin Verlander. A new set of baseballs for our plate umpire today, Greg Gibson, handling balls and strikes. He's a veteran umpire. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Verlander, his first of the night. And there are 2 away.
And behind Justin Verlander tonight, the Astros will feature a very solid defense. Marwin Gonzalez in left, George Springer normally in right. He'll play center field tonight. Josh Reddick gets the start in right field. Alex Bregman, a shortstop, is playing third base. Carlos Correa hasn't made an error yet this year. Jose Altuve at second. Yuli Gurriel at first. Behind the plate, the veteran, Brian McCann.
So Verlander's first strikeout of the night. Number 71 this season for him. He's had a real good year in that regard, as have many pitchers this year in Major League Baseball. And he gets the first one in there for a strike to Mazzara. Number 2,487 in Verlander's career. 1-1. Pardon me, 0-2. That's a called strike. Looked like Mazzara thought it was a little off the outside corner.
And McCann is set up both times on the outside part of the plate. Verlander's delivered it right there twice.
Almost the entire left side of the infield open for Nomar.
He shaded him way around toward left field in the outfield. Shaded him to pull in the infield. A little bit outside, but Nomar wasn't taking any chances with 2 strikes. First 2 pitches were borderline on the corner. The call went for Verlander both times. And that time Verlander aimed it a little bit more outside, and Nomar felt like he had to protect the plate. Didn't want to get called out.
Probably the Rangers' hottest hitter. Been swinging for some great power lately and asked for time. And it does look like Verlander and McCann working deliberately together. Verlander has been very patient between pitches. His 0-2 up and away. Six-time All-Star. Verlander, the American League MVP in 2011, also won the Cy Young. A lot of pretty impressive hardware on his mantle. 1 and 2 the count on Mazzara. He was a Rookie of the Year in 2006. But this will be his first full year as a Houston Astro. He joined the club last year right at the trade deadline. Rather, after the trade deadline. 1-2 pitch. And he misses in, so we'll even things up. Mazzara with a couple of home runs yesterday. As you look at the man waiting on deck, love to get Beltre up there this inning. Nomar 2 for 4 yesterday, had the game winner, the walk-off. Shoots this one through the infield left side, and that's a base hit. So this was yesterday afternoon, bottom of the 10th inning.
That ball was hit 117 miles an hour, one of the 5 or 6 hardest hit balls of the season thus far in the American League. Line shot. The only question was whether it would stay fair. It was hit so hard, didn't have time to hook foul. I think over time, my guess is you'll see that shift less and less because Nomar uses the whole field. That ground ball went against the shift, especially with 2 strikes. With 2 strikes, I think he makes a conscious effort to go back through the middle, not to try to pull the ball. And so maybe they play him shaded around toward right field the first couple of pitches until he gets to 2 strikes and then go back to maybe not quite as drastic a shift.
Modest lead, not much of a base stealing threat. And now a strike into Beltre makes the count 1-1. Beltre's 3rd game back, and you see his numbers in his career against Verlander really pretty strong. 293 average, and has hit a home run off him. Verlander's given up 4 home runs this year. Uh-oh, little in. It spins Beltre around. So a man on, 2 out, and Verlander having to work from the stretch. Two and 2. Verlander leads the American League in all the major categories. His earned run average, his whip, walks, and hits per innings pitched. Opponents hitting just 146 against him. All those best in the American League. He's really been energized since joining this organization. Slow tapper at third base. Bregman charges and is slow dug out at first by Gurriel to win the inning. So the Rangers get a base runner but can't do anything with him. And now the Astros will go to work in the bottom of the 1st. lineup. George Springer leading it off in center field. Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and first baseman Yulieski Gurriel. Then it's Alex Bregman batting fifth, playing third base. Gonzalez in left field. Brian McCann catching. Evan Gattis at DH. Josh Reddick in right against Cole Hamels. Ninth start of the year for Hamels. 1 win, 4 losses, and a .394 ERA. And the lefty's first pitch. A little bit in, apparently, for ball 1.
A pretty good idea. The 2 home runs, well, 3 home runs that Springer has hit against Cole have been outside. Leading off a game, first pitch up and away. That time Cole brought the cutter in on the fist. Again, not going to let him extend his arms. I think George Springer has shown Cole that he can handle that fastball away.
Springer started the season with a home run in Arlington in his first at bat, the second pitch of the game. And then when we came down here to face the Astros in the first series at Minute Maid, started the game against Hamels with another leadoff home run. It has been a big part of his young career. He's actually been very good. Last year led Major League Baseball with 9 leadoff home runs. The year before had 8 leadoff home runs. So he does bring a lot of thunder to that leadoff spot. Inside, and I think that one got a piece of the bat. Looks like, anyway, the indication. 2-2.
I think it kind of sounded like it hit somebody. I think it hit so close to Springer's hands on the handle that you didn't hear that click that the ball normally makes when it hits a bat. Fell over that. Springer had a day on Monday in Oakland. He went 6 for 6 in that game. Tied an Astros franchise record. Joe Morgan went 6 for 6 back in 1965. Springer did it in a 9-inning game.
2-2 pitch, and just a little high. Yeah, that's a big day. That's a good day. Just a shade under 300 for the year. 8 home runs, 26 RBIs. The payoff pitch, and he takes high, ball 4. So Springer starts the game with a walk.
Take a look at Cole's pitch arsenal. Fastball 36% of the time. The cutter is a fastball, so technically fastballs are well over 50% of the time. An excellent changeup, probably the best changeup so far this year that we've seen Cole have as a Ranger, and also a solid curveball. He's had 47 strikeouts on his strikes on his changeup this year, second most in Major League Baseball.
Bouncer shortstop, quick feed to second one. Odor with the turn and an easy looking double play. 6-4-3. Springer cleared right off the bases.
Well, Springer gave Cole a tough at bat. Saw a lot of pitches, a lot of close pitches, worked a walk. Altuve right off the bat. It looked like a changeup up and away, 84 miles an hour. He jumped at it, not a strike, just pulled it, tapped it to shortstop for an easy double play. So that turns around a high pitch walk and gives Cole 2 quick outs. When you see Altuve swing like that, a pitch on the first pitch that's not a strike, you just assume that it was a good thing you threw the pitch out of the strike zone, because he was up there swinging, looking for the first pitch he saw. If you throw him a good strike, chances are he hits it hard somewhere.
Last year's MVP in the American League. 1 strike pitch now to Correa. Backdoor breaking ball just missed. Look, anytime you retire Altuve, you feel pretty good. To get 2 outs out of one of his at-bats, hey, now you're really talking.
Hey, there's so many things you can say about Altuve. He swung at the first pitch. We didn't get a chance to say anything about him. Have to save it for the next at-bat.
Well, Correa goes to 2-1 here. I'll tell you what, you talk to people around this team last year, and they tell you if he were healthy last year, he might have won the MVP. And he bounces this one foul, 2-2. So they had to miss significant time last season. missed 6 weeks last year. And that really cut into it, and yet still got his 20-plus home runs as he does every year. Two-2 pitch and a little bit low. So full count on Correa.
Rangers have not scored a lot of runs for Cole, to put it lightly. His record is 1-4. And I think if you just look at the pitches that Cole has thrown this year, I think his changeup is better than last year. I think his cutter is better than last year. And I think his fastball is as good as last year. Overall, I think it adds up to having better stuff this year than last year. And the strikeout totals really tell the story. Striking out over 10 per 9 innings this year. Last year was a little over 6 per 9 innings.
We talk about the run support. Look at that. The lowest run support in the American League, Matthew Boyd only getting 2 runs out of the Tigers. But there's Cole Hamels, 5th lowest run support in the American League. Gets this one right in there for a strike to Gurriel.
You remember when the season started, Cole's fastball was probably 90, 91, occasionally 92. Now it's 92-ish, and that one last pitch was 93 miles an hour. So a little bit of an uptick in the velocity as the season's gone on too.
0-2.
Good curveball. I think overall, all of Cole's pitches are even better this year than last year. He's throwing the ball really well right now.
2-strike pitch, and he gets Gurriel to fight it off. So Gurriel, the cleanup man, working on an 11-game hitting streak, second longest active streak right now in baseball, and getting into better than the 350 clip during that stretch. Overall, hitting .284. 0-2. Look good. Strike 3 called, and there's the first punch out of the night for Cole Hamels. So he walks a couple, but leaves a man out there, and we've played 1 scoreless so far tonight in Houston. All right, no score after 1 inning of play, and now here in the second, Joey Gallo will lead things off for the Rangers. It'll be Gallo, Jurickson Profar, and Rougned Odor. First pitch on the way from Justin Verlander, and this one is lifted high in the air, foul over the left side, out of play. Well, Gallo hitting .213 so far. But the 12 home runs, second most in the American League. And they do have a pretty dramatic shift on him right here. all 4 infielders on the opposite side of second base. We have seen him use the other side of the field. Holds off, and it's 1-1. Opening day, the Astros used 4 outfielders against Gallo. They don't do that here, and they won't here. It's a breaking ball in there for a strike. They don't need to in this ballpark. Left field's so small. And they lost Towles Hill in the offseason this last, I guess 2 years ago now.
You like the ballpark better without Towles Hill?
Well, I have to tell you, I think I do. And I was one of those, I did not have a problem with Towles Hill at all. I thought it was kind of cool, but I do kind of like it better. Hard ground ball to the right side, and an easy play for Correa. One away. All right, our Kubota Power stats today. They're regarding Justin Verlander, and last inning he struck out Shin-Soo Choo. And that was a big strikeout for him because it moved him officially into 33rd place all time and passed Don Drysdale. So he broke the tie with Drysdale. Next on the list, Christy Mathewson. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, once you get up to that number, you can pass a bunch of guys in a month or two.
Yeah.
A lot of bunching together when you're that high. You get up to the Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan stratosphere.
Yeah, when you start seeing those guys, Steve Carlton on the list, you know you're getting into.
You think about how good Justin Verlander's been for a long time. He's not even halfway to Nolan Ryan as far as strikeouts go.
One strike pitch. And this ball hit well down the right side and foul.
Boy, that's the second one that the Rangers have yanked just foul. Shin-Soo Choo got a hold of a fastball and just pulled it foul, and Jurickson just missed one right there. Not sure Verlander early in this game has his best stuff yet. Hasn't really tuned one up much more than 93 miles an hour. Generally he starts off like that, and then as the game goes on he's throwing harder.
Pop foul. This one only 2 rows into the seats.
Yeah, the blue shirt did the heavy lifting there. Bounced off his hands and then just plopped right into the hands of the Astros fan up front. Looking for a kid. Where are they? Gotta be a kid around
there we go.
somewhere.
You're getting help. There you go, buddy.
Found one.
Beautiful. That's really well done.
Yep.
One out. 0-2 to Jurickson Profar. Another foul ball, and here we go again. Profar putting a battle on another very good pitcher.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, Verlander tossed that one up there at 95.
Well, looks like the writing press got a
the
ball.
Knights of the Keyboard, as Ted Williams used to call him.
Rick Blunt, our official scorer tonight here, got the baseball. Now he's looking for a kid. Harder to find over there in the press box. 2-strike pitch, and it is fouled off again. There we go. He found a girl. We should have a real nice crowd tonight, and all weekend here. This series has become such an anticipated one, both in Arlington and down here in Houston. Used to be the interleague rivalry and the battle for the Silver Boot, and now a great in-division rivalry, and just immediately vaulted into the mix of the top 5 or so rivalries in the game. As this one is inside, it's 1-2.
Jurickson is only 3 for his last 23. He's only hitting .220, but as you just alluded to, Dave, he's had a lot of long at bats, laid off some tough pitches, fouled off some tough pitches. Hasn't been getting his hits, but he's been up there battling. It's not like it's 2 or 3 pitches and see you later. Pitchers have had to work to get him out.
Well, he's fouled off 6 pitches and watched 1 ball so far in this at bat. Yeah, every time I look at his overall numbers, I guess the word I'd use, I'm a little surprised, right? I expect to see them going up a lot faster because he is giving such great at-bats. Just hasn't been getting the results every time. Hits this ball well out to center field. Sends Springer on the run, and he's really out of the run, but he tracks it down.
And Springer thought he was going to catch that one a little easier. Jurickson put a charge in it. Hit it left-handed to the left of second base over probably about 400 feet. It's 409 feet out there to the wall. Fastball up and away. Hit that ball really well. There's some parks around the league where that one wouldn't have stayed in the ballpark and at least been off the wall. Springer was able to run it down. Good battle up there, and can't hit the ball any farther to that part of the park than he just did that one.
Well, now great to see this guy in the batter's box. Rougned Odor activated from the disabled list today, and he takes strike one from Verlander. Well, his first game back with the big club since April 9th against the Angels when he strained that left hamstring, trying to get back to first base. Oh, 2 to count. Now, Rugi had a couple of rehab games at Frisco, 3 at Round Rock. You see, he was swinging the bat pretty well before the injury. 3 for 17 in those rehabs, though. It's this ball on the ground, right at second base for the shortstop. Correa makes the play, and the inning is done. 1.5 in the books so far tonight. Still no score.
Which is delivered by DeMontron RV. Joey Gallo is in left field. Delino, Nomar round out the outfield. Adrian Beltre at third. Jurickson Profar at short. Back at second base, Rougned Odor. The Condor, Ronald Guzman, is at first base, and behind the plate is Robinson Chirinos.
Alex Bregman will lead things off in this second inning for Houston, batting 5th tonight. Bregman was the cleanup hitter the other day in Oakland. It was just the second time in his career that he batted cleanup, but had an infield hit in that one, and his hitting streak now is at 8 games. And that one comes way inside. Oh, he got a piece of his foot. Not sure he knew it, but he takes first base. That was weird. He looked back at our plate umpire, Greg Gibson.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to say if he didn't know it hit him in the foot, chances are it didn't hit him in the foot. It is so hard to tell.
And to that end, the Rangers are checking it. And the problem is that there's, I think Don Wakamatsu is saying, like, yeah, it's a no-go. The problem is I just don't think you have the video evidence to prove it clearly false. They're reacting, I think, like we were, which was the body language of Bregman. Yeah. Bregman's body language said, I'm not sure, I don't know.
Generally, if you get hit, you give some kind of reaction that shows that you got hit.
So the lead man on for Marwin Gonzalez, switch hitting left fielder. Hamel starts him low with ball one. Gonzalez comes in at 248 with 3 home runs. Versatile player. They use him all over the diamond. Of course, can hit from either side of the plate. He was a Rule 5 selection. One of those good stories from the Rule 5s. Count 1-1. Don't always see it, but chosen in December of 2011 in that Rule 5 draft.
He swung so hard he got hurt. Not sure where he got hurt. Maybe his wrist. I've seen the Hammett bone hurt a few times. Generally, when you start wiggling your wrist like that, that's a possibility. I don't think I've ever seen him take a harder swing than that.
Ball 1 strike, and Hamels gets him to bounce this one foul. He is coming off his best year, and by a wide margin in terms of power. Last year with 23 home runs and 90 RBIs. A year in which he hit over 300. A lot of guys who had breakthrough years last year in the power categories. It seems like some of that's pulling back a little this year.
One thing that's pulling back are the batting averages on a major league level. Currently.
Broken bat roller short. Profar charges to second one, and that's all they'll get. So they force out Bregman at second base. Gonzalez on via the fielder's choice, and that thing was split the long way.
Yeah, this was hit right off the end of the bat, and that piece kind of splintered and sailed out toward Cole. Watch it this way, and you'll see that bat split right down the middle. Wasn't hit hard enough to get a double play. Good pitch, though. Good pitch for Cole. Not a very good pitch for Gonzalez to swing at. But the lowest major league batting average up until this year, since the DH 1973, was 251. This year, major league hitters are hitting 245.
First pitch swinging, and McCann blasts this one down the right field line, but foul.
There's 3 of them, the exact same ball. You got Chu hit one, Profar hit one, and now McCann hit one. Line drives right about in the same spot.
Yep.
They look a little closer to being fair from our vantage point.
They're really hard to read from up here.
But from that angle, it was pretty obvious that it was foul.
This one hit fair, but might not have enough carry. It does not. Mazzara gets there. 2 away.
McCann has hit well against left-handed pitching, over 300. He hit that one okay. Didn't get all of it, though.
So 2 gone now for Evan Gattis. Anyway, back to your numbers, Tom. So the lowest league-wide average prior to this year was 251. And when was that?
That was, I don't have the date for that one.
Okay.
Because I was kind of focused on what it is this year. It's 245. The 10 lowest batting average years since the DH Of the 10, 8 of them have been in the last decade.
Okay.
And they've gone down something like every year for the last 5 years. The batting average has.
Yeah, they're plummeting, and this year it's almost catastrophic, the numbers.
It's almost like the batting average drop isn't the opposite proportion to what the home runs are doing. Home runs are going up every year. Batting average is going down. And all you can draw a conclusion from that would be to say guys are swinging for the fences without regard to their batting average. They're willing to give up a strikeout, a bat at bat, trying to hit a home run. And they're hitting more home runs, but the batting averages are going way down.
Yep, it's home run derby every night.
Yeah.
And there's obviously information to suggest to teams that is a good way to compete. There's a lot of information, though, that I think tells a different story, too, which is you need to have a little more balance in your lineup. Look at recent winners and how they've constructed their lineup and gone about their business. And in fact, Jason Stark wrote yet another great piece in The Athletic about, look at the recent champions. The Astros 2 years ago had the second most strikeouts in baseball. As talented as they were, that just did not suit them in the postseason. Last year, they had the second fewest strikeouts in baseball, and they run off to the World Series title. And that story's been a common one lately. Look at the Royals several years ago. They were a put the ball in play kind of team.
Yeah, I think they had the fewest strikeouts the year they won the World Series. It just makes sense that a combination of all of the above are good. You'd like to have a team that hits for a good average, doesn't lead the league in strikeouts, and hits its share of home runs. But the all or nothing for the home run just seems like you're not as apt to beat a really top of the line pitcher.
Strikeouts are a hot thing, and there's another one for Hamels. So 2 scoreless innings so far tonight. Robinson Chirinos will lead things off for the Rangers when we come back, and he's bouncing off a big story.
Into the plate is, or up to the plate, I should say, is Robinson Chirinos. And what I'm trying to say is yesterday was a very big day for Robinson Chirinos. He found out that his sister and her family have been granted political asylum after they fled Venezuela last summer. So they had the hearing a couple of weeks back. They were still awaiting word on it, and word came down yesterday that they would be granted political asylum. Robinson said today he was just obviously very relieved that his family was going to be able to stay here and be safe.
0-2 the count. Yeah, it is a tremendous story. The hearings happened here in Houston, and yesterday the verdict came down here in Houston as well. His sister Rosemary has been stateside here for a little while now, just trying to seek some safety. Was held at gunpoint back in her home country in Venezuela last offseason, the 0-2 very high. 1-2 the count to Chirinos. A lot of turmoil down in Venezuela, and Chirinos fortunate to be able to get his family members out. Good numbers in his career against Justin Verlander. But he swings and misses, and is the second strikeout of the night for Verlander. 1 away. It is time now for Lowe's whole team together. You look at the Astros starting rotation and the opponent's batting average this year, and those are some really minuscule numbers.
That's pretty impressive. The top three, Verlander, Cole, and Morton, are all in the top 7 in the American League. That's why the Astros have the best pitching in Major League Baseball.
You said it earlier that Cole Hamels has had a real hard time getting run support. And you know, you draw the starting assignment against this team, and this is the 3rd time now that he's done that. It is tough because they do run some great arms out there. Guzman swings and misses, and he's in a hole 0-2. Guzman at 209, a home run and 10 driven in. Look at those numbers against the Astros. He made a lot of noise that last series here. Basically won a game single-handedly as he swings and misses and strikes out for the second out here in the 3rd.
Well, Verlander, to the last 2 hitters in the lineup, Robinson and Ronald, he's just gone to his fastball, 95 miles an hour. There it is. And he's gotten swings and misses for 2 strikeouts. Along the strikeout line, Dave, 23 pitchers this year have at least 10 strikeouts per 9 innings or more. Verlander and Hamels are 2 of them. 23. The all-time Major League record is 13 last year. I guess it stands to reason if the hitters are striking out more, the pitchers have more strikeouts. But 23 pitchers are striking out more than 10 per 9 innings right now.
Yeah, there's a definite shift in the way the game is being played lately. Those numbers we're talking about tonight certainly underscore those changes. Delino lined out in the 1st inning, and it takes high here. It's 1-1. I saw a note the other day. We are pacing right now for 10,000 fewer balls in play this season around Major League Baseball. 10,000 fewer balls in play than as recently as 2009.
You know, that trend statistically may be something positive as far as scoring runs and winning games. I don't know. But it doesn't lend itself to better baseball. Not in my mind. No, I love seeing guys hit to the opposite field, hit behind the runner, hit and run, move the runners, base running, less strikeouts, more things happening on the field. But to me, you run the risk of turning it into something like slow pitch softball, where the only action in the game is a home run. Now, that's obviously a huge exaggeration, but the direction it's going in, more strikeouts, more home runs, batting average down to 245. Lowest since the DH was introduced in 1973, and that's the direction if it doesn't change.
I think baseball's looking very seriously at what they can do to adjust things and encourage a return to a little bit more of the game that we all grew up knowing. As this one in foul ground, tracked down by Reddick, and Delino DeShields retired through into 1-2-3, top of the 3rd. All right, we played 2.5. No score. And Josh Reddick will lead things off for Houston, 9th place hitter. And he swings and lines one down to first, but right to the Condor, one away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Here, George Springer stands in. Oh, that one in on him and got him on the hand. Uh-oh. That was a fastball. Springer hit by the pitch. And immediate reaction from that Astros bench as their head athletic trainer and the skipper, A.J. Hinch, out there to take a look.
That's one of those that doesn't look good because Springer's hit 3 home runs off Cole, but there's absolutely no intent behind this. The first time up, Cole attacked him by trying to throw his cutter inside, and that's what he's trying to do right there. He just hung on to it a little bit and ended up hitting Springer, and hopefully George is okay. You know, Cole's trying to get him out. Springer's hit the ball away exceptionally well this year against Cole, so he's trying to get the ball in. He just got it too far in. Hopefully Springer's all right, but there's no intent behind that. You can tell by Cole's reaction after he threw it. When a guy's trying to hit someone, he doesn't act remorseful after he throws it. He stares at the hitter.
Well, and I think from Springer's standpoint, that was not fun. There's no question. But initially, the way that came in on him, the way he backed away, and I think maybe just a natural fear whenever you see that is you think if that hits a guy on the hand, you know, that can mean a broken bone and a long time off. It looked like it got him on the elbow or outside of the elbow. And that may be the blessing here is, from his standpoint, is it didn't get him on the hand. So he's apparently okay. Stays in at first base. And now here is Jose Altuve. And he swings at the first pitch for a second time.
He's not wasting any time.
And he's, you know, that's been a little bit of his style over the years. Get right after it. Last year was one of the fewest pitches per plate appearance in the big leagues as he takes in. And it's 1-1. Well, Hamels definitely establishing that he wants to pitch inside. Here's the 1-1. Look at that. Strike called. A little bit of a delay by Gibson, but 1-2 now. The count on Altuve. .331 average. Couple of homers, 17 RBIs. He's won the American League batting title in 3 of the last 4 years. He rolls it foul. Numbers there with 2 strikes this year. Obviously, the numbers go down quite a little bit for a guy, and they will for just about every hitter. A lot of amazing numbers for a guy listed at 5'6".
Yeah, he's 5'6". I remember the ball he hit last year or the year before here that went close to 400 feet to straightaway right field. You go back 40 or 50 years and guys 5'6" couldn't hit it to the warning track going the opposite way. And players today are bigger, faster, stronger, more physically capable than at any time.
Hamels sets in the 1-2. Another foul ball. Altuve doing good battle here. You said it earlier, Tom. He was out on 1 pitch his first time up, and there's so many things that you could say about Altuve, statistically and otherwise, that might fascinate baseball fans. smallest MVP in baseball history. Takes that one high, 2-2. But one of the numbers that I thought was kind of interesting, he joined Willie Mays last year. And Willie did this in 1957 and 1958. The only players all time with a .330 batting average, 20 homers, and 30 steals in back-to-back seasons. Wow. It's a high fly ball into short left center. DeShields wants it. Gallo takes it. And DeShields hands up once again. What do I have to do?
Well, if Delano's yelling for that ball, Joey's got to get out of the way. As simple as that. And I'm not sure if Delano was yelling, but we saw that on a pop-up with Isaiah the other day. Joey's yelling, but that's not Joey's job to yell. Joey's job is to go after the ball and catch it unless he's called off by Delano. But left fielder, not the one to call off the center fielder. The center fielder is taught to take charge out there, and the other outfielders peel off if the center fielder is calling for it.
When I was a kid, I remember Joe Garagiola describing that type of a moment during a Game of the Week broadcast as the married couple, the husband-wife play. And he'd say bad communication. And I look at that now, and when I saw Delano's reaction, hands up and that look on his face, I was like, my wife's given me that look before. I know that one. He was trying.
No, he also knows that it's not going to be in his best interest to run hard into the guy who's 6'5" and 250 pounds either.
Nope. But that will be a conversation.
They'll get together on that. There's some inexperience in the outfield. It's not like these guys have played together for 4 or 5 years. They'll get it going as far as the communication part of it goes.
2-1 on Correa. Man on, 2 away. Bottom of the 3rd inning. The Astros do not have a hit yet. They have had 2 hit batters. Also the benefit of 2 walks. And a swing and a miss evens the count at 2-2. Now Correa, interesting. This ballpark has not treated him quite as well. You see the difference in average. 220 points better on the road, more pop in the bat. And I think it was a year, maybe 2 years ago, when his manager talked about maybe him trying to muscle up, pull the ball a little too much here because of that short porch in left field. And it's a trap for a lot of right-handed hitters.
Yeah, he's not the only outfielder that's having trouble in this part. The whole team is having overall trouble. They're scoring 2 runs more per game on the road than they are at home. They're also winning more on the road. 14-6 on the road, 10-9 at home. Even with that great pitching, they're only 10-9 at home.
Payoff to Correa, and they'll shoot this one foul. So with 2 strikes, cutting down a little bit. He's 2 for 20 in his career against Cole Hamels. So Hamels has certainly had the upper hand in this head-to-head battle over the years. I'm seeing a little frustration now and again on Hamels' face as the delay between pitches sometimes has been longer. Now it's 3-2. That one fouled again. Well, we talked earlier about the great at bats. The Rangers shortstop Jurickson Profar has been putting on guys, long at bats, fouling pitches off, etc. Now it's the Astros shortstop Carlos Correa, who will see his 8th pitch in this at bat. And he keeps doing this every time they get set. The moment they get set, he steps out. And Hamels getting frustrated. Three-2. We'll do another one.
Sometimes you'll see hitters step out against a pitcher who gets the ball, steps on the rubber, and can't wait to throw it again. Cole works kind of a normal pace. He's not overly quick. It's not like Springer has to worry about whether he can get set in the batter's box. He's got plenty of time to do that.
3-2 again. Correa swings and misses strike 3. The inning is done. So Hamels leaves another man on. We'll go to the 4th inning, no score. Remember, he was hit in the arm last inning. So Springer done. And now 2, 3, and 4 hitters in this 4th inning for the Rangers. Chu starting it off. Verlander's 1-0, and that one's off the plate. Pardon me. 1-1.
You want to be an umpire now?
No, yeah, right.
It is a pretty good day, I think, for the pitcher. I think Greg Gibson has had a strike zone that might favor the pitcher slightly. Been very consistent. Balls on the corner, going the pitcher's way.
This one lifted high in the air to center, so Marisnik will get a chance right out of the gates. 1 away. It's time now for T-Mobile's Hats Off for Heroes. And Justin Verlander being recognized today by T-Mobile. He started Wins for Warriors Foundation. Of course, you're talking about a guy who was the Championship Series MVP last year for the Astros, won a Cy Young in 2011 with the Tigers, and one of 28 pitchers in the history of baseball with multiple no-hitters. He's given up the 1 hit in this ball game tonight to this man, Omar Mazara. Omar had the base hit into left field, just as kind of a cue shot. He sent where the normal shortstop would have been playing, and then not all but vacated the left side of the infield. This one away in, and so Verlander twice now, really tight on Nomar. You see the shift. Not uncommon to see that kind of a shift against a good left-handed hitter. 2-0. And this one off the handle, bloop left side, and tracked down by Brickman.
You can tell what a good pitch that was on a 2-0 count. To be able to get it in on the fists of a really good hitter. He's swinging the bat well right now. Verlander ran that fastball at 97 miles an hour on a 2-0 pitch. Starts out throwing 93, but you know there's more in the tank. And in that particular case, he probably assumes Nomar will be looking for a fastball. So if he's going to throw a fastball, he wants to locate it, put a little more zip on it. Got it in at 97 miles an hour, and you can see what the result was.
Where McCann, as he was starting to shift outside. I don't know if he's the one who called off the pitch or Verlander just stopped. Don't quite understand how that works. Breaking ball. And that one in there for a strike.
Good curveball, obviously. Just dropped on the inside corner. 55 pitches, 41 of them have been strikes.
Beltre asking for time. There was a day where, you know, any flinch like that, it was a little emasculating for a hitter, but not with Beltre.
No,
right?
Not at all.
It's all part of the fun.
Sometimes I think he does it on purpose. Hopes the guy throws him another one, then he'll jump all over it.
Two balls and a strike. Beltre grounded out to third. His first time up. Keeps that one alive. All right, he is our TXU Energy Power player to watch. Beltre since the All-Star break last year. How about that? A .330 average, which is third best in all of Major League Baseball during these last several months, going back into last year. Want to bet that that guy's on the list too? Altuve. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Beltre goes down on strikes. That's 10 straight retired by Justin Verlander. Real pretty one. No score here as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Hey, the Yankees are coming to town May 21st through the 23rd. It'll be a three-game series with New York. Great seats still available for all three games. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right, heart of the order for the Astros in this fourth inning, and Hamels goes low to Gurriel. Gurriel struck out looking in the first, 0 for 1. Hamels has walked 2. He has hit 2 batters. Alex Bregman and George Springer. Also has 3 strikeouts. 2-0 pitch. It is 3-0. Gurriel, usually a very aggressive hitter. He's up there to swing. See if he's taking 3-0 or not. He is taking, and it's a strike.
Probably a little different leading off an inning on a 3-0 count than it might be if you're up there with nobody on and 2 outs on a 3-0 pitch.
Tapper back to Hamels. Nice play. And Gurriel sent back to the dugout. 1 out here with the 4th inning. Well, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, which allows you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Now, blackout and other restrictions do apply. Just go to MLB.tv for details. All right, here's Bregman, who was one of the guys hit by a pitch tonight. A very close pitch. And he takes a breaking ball for strike 1.
Bregman so far this year is one of those rare hitters. We talked about Mookie Betts when the Red Sox were in Texas. He's walked 23 times, struck out 21 times. And as we were talking about when Mookie Betts was playing, in today's game, that's rare. A regular player with more walks than strikeouts. Bregman's a good hitter. Got off to a slow start this year. Hasn't hit very well at home, but he's been hot lately. He can hit.
Little roller back to Hamels.
No problem for the Condor.
No, a little exciting maybe.
Almost got his feet tied up. I don't think Ronald thought he was going to be challenged on this play. Whoops.
Another good job. He's played a real nice first base.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty agile for a big guy. And he is a big guy.
All right, Marwin Gonzalez. There's another fastball at 93 for Cole Hamels. Boy, Cole's fastballs look crisp tonight. His breaking balls have been working. Kept these Astros off balance for the most part here. Oh, there's a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, I don't think Cole would say anything other than he's pleased with the way he's throwing right now, and has been throwing, really. His stuff has been good. Way better than good.
It's a low strike call that time from Gibson. 1-2 the count.
Another example of the batter's strike zone tonight, maybe favoring the pitcher just a little bit. Pretty good numbers for Cole through 3 2/3. Astros really haven't come close to getting a hit yet.
Now he and Chirinos taking a little while here.
Reddick hit a hard smash leading off the 3rd, but it was right at Guzman. Simple play.
Bouncer third base. Beltre bobbles, throws, and Guzman couldn't quite get that one. I don't know how he got that off with enough mustard to even make it a play at first, but it is an error. Beltre charged with the throwing error, and Guzman again almost saved him.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Ronald. He tried to swipe at it. It just didn't stay in his glove. That's a tough error right there. I mean, that throw wasn't perfect. Obviously, it bounced, but Adrian didn't have much time after the ball glanced off him to pick it up on the run like that. He might be leaning toward a base hit on that one.
2 gun, and Brian McCann steps in with a man on base. Turn away from strike 1. Now, Marwin Gonzalez not a real threat to be running over there at first base. Hamels can focus most of his attention on Brian McCann. Oh, say that. And what a jump by Gonzalez. Holy moly. It's like he was invisible over there. And that is his first stolen base. Wow.
You know, and they have advanced scouting, and you know, maybe Maybe the advanced scout said when a runner is on first base who is not a base stealing threat, maybe Cole takes a little time, doesn't check him closely enough. Who knows? But Gonzalez used the element of surprise right there. I don't think anyone expected him to be stealing, but if you can get that kind of jump, you got to take advantage of it.
He had a huge jump. He's the first runner for either team to get into scoring position tonight. 1-2 the count on McCann. Well, McCann, the 13-year veteran, hit 15 or more home runs every year since 2006. Very consistent. Infield back, and a 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Inning is done.
Great pitch to end that inning. Got Brian McCann on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. Got a base runner, but so far through 4, Astros still don't have a hit.
Buick dealer. A couple guys throwing the baseball pretty well so far tonight. Hamels through 4. He's yet to give up a hit, and that guy Justin Verlander has allowed 1 Rangers hit, but he has retired 10 straight batters. He's got Gallo to start this 5th inning. And Joey swings and misses at strike 1.
The first inning and part of the second inning, Verlander might not have been all the way on as far as his command goes, but as the game has gone on, he's definitely there now.
Got Gallo to ground out in the 2nd inning. Gets ahead of him here 0-2.
It's a good night to be pitching. Got a lot of guys bunched over there in right field. It's pretty tough to hit a ground ball between first base and second base with 4 fielders over there. Verlander, 2 starts ago against the Yankees, pitched 8 shutout innings, 3 hits, no walks, and 14 strikeouts, and got a no decision. Then in his last start, he gave up 1 run, 1 earned run in 6 innings and got a loss. So 14 innings, 1 earned run, and he's 0-1 in his last 2 starts.
This ball hit hard out to right field, and a diving stop by Reddick. Wow, what an incredible reaction by Josh Reddick to take one away.
You're exactly right, Dave. That was a great reaction. That ball was hit so hard, you don't have a lot of time to make up your mind.
And the second this ball comes off the bat, Reddick is sprinting in the direction of the ball. No hesitation, a direct line to the ball, an all-out dive, and that line drive at probably 115 miles an hour turned into an out.
Yeah, I was just thinking, he found a way to hit through 7 guys on that side of the field for a hit, and then Reddick just smeared it.
Out of all the guys on that side of the infield, Reddick is as good defensively as all of them. He's Gold Glove caliber in right field. Looked like it on that play, the jump that he got.
Interesting here is you see Bregman way up on that third base side. He's by himself, but worried that Profar might try to bunt his way on, obviously.
I don't remember Profar trying to bunt. Really?
And I certainly don't remember them in that alignment when he was up in the second inning.
Sometimes I think it's mind games. They just want Profar to see him there.
AJ Hinch has admitted as much. He told me second day of the season, said, yeah, some of it's just a little mental warfare.
You know, it's one thing if Delino comes up and you play the first baseman way in like that because you're trying to take a bunt away from him. But for a guy that never bunts, I don't know why you would play up there. Your goal wasn't to just maybe mess with him a little bit. I think it's a good idea too. Put something in the guy's mind. You're trying to concentrate on the pitcher. All of a sudden you see a guy there and you go, why are they playing me there?
Well, there's a soft liner over first and down to that right field corner. Reddick has a good arm. Profar's going to challenge him. Wow. That's a pretty crafty slide into second base.
Yeah, he's in there, but not because Reddick didn't make a good play. Said that Reddick was a Gold Glove caliber right fielder. You saw him make the diving play on Joey's ball. He turns and throws a one-hop strike right on the bag. And Profar avoids the tag and slides in safely. Nice slide. Even though Reddick didn't get him, that's a beautiful play.
I'll be honest with you, when he rounded first, I wasn't real confident he was going to spend a lot of time at second base. That's a tough guy to run on, but Profar does it, and now he's in scoring position for Rougned Odor. On a night like tonight, Tom, it might be little plays like that that end up being all the difference in this one.
It very well could be in a close score, in a close game like this. And on that play, if you're Profar, you have to go for 2 right there. You have to force the action, make him make a perfect throw, which he did, and he was still safe. Well, that was definitely a risk that you had to take. Try to get a man in the scoring position.
And the first one the Rangers have had tonight. Odor just back off the DL today. Grounded out in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. All right, let's check in with Emily.
Yeah, Rougned Odor is just, as I mentioned a little bit in the top of the show, is just so anxious to get back out. He said really it was a helpless feeling not being able to contribute to the team. And for him, that was the hardest part, was having to deal with that for the first time in his career. He said, too, he kind of wanted a fresh start to kind of reset on this season and take things basically as a square one opportunity from here.
Well, what a great chance today to restart things, not just for the season, but look, in his head-to-heads against Verlanders, never had a lot of success against him. He takes a ball, it's 2-0. He was 1 for 19, now 1 for 20 against Verlander in his career. But it's all new. It just seems like you have a brand new clean slate that first day back. He's got a chance here if he can find the outfield somehow to get Profar to the plate. Two 2-0 pitch. 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 2-0 pit Well, Rugi, we mentioned it earlier, last 6 games prior to his injury. Now, that was a while ago. He was injured on April 9th. The last 6 games, he's been swinging it pretty well to the tune of a .333 average. Those numbers pretty much irrelevant given the time he had off, but he was driving the ball in his rehab assignments. 2-1. And that'll even things here at 2-2.
Well, we've seen Verlander in this game behind in the count 2-0 go all fastballs. In this particular case, he's behind 2-0 and went to off-speed pitches. Just got so many way above average pitches that he can get hitters out with. It's a very tough assignment for a hitter when he's in the kind of role that he's been since he's been an Astro. Well, before that, whether he was a Tiger or an Astro, he's always had this kind of stuff. That's why he's been so good.
And he strikes out Odor, 2 away. Let's go back to that double with Jurickson and Profar.
Well, Josh Reddick made a perfect throw, and so it was up to Jurickson to run with the best speed he could possibly muster, and his sprint speed was 28.9 feet per second. Not elite, not up there with guys like Mike Trout, Delino DeShields, Billy Hamilton, and whoever the other fast guys are, but above average, and he needed every bit of that to beat that throw. Perfect throw, good tag, and his arm got in there just a split second before the tag.
Leaves it to Robinson Chirinos now, and he takes strike 1. You saw the numbers a moment ago for Verlander. When he deals with runners in scoring position, he also seems to have that ability to dial in just a little bit more. I think sometimes that it can limit a little bit what you might want to throw. With him, it is only amplified maybe his intensity. There's a good heater that he rushes past Chirinos in the count 0-2.
You know, the guy's such a competitor, such a horse out on the mound. In this kind of a game where there's not much in the way of scoring opportunities, as soon as Profar got to second base, he's dialed it up. So if you get a base hit off him here, you're going to have to beat him with his best stuff, whether it's mid-90s fastball or the hard breaking ball. Best velocity of the night, 96.
Chirinos forces him into another pitch. It'll be his 75th of the night. Rangers have only had 2 base runners against him. Mazzara had the single in the first, and now Profar with a double this inning. You don't get a lot of opportunities against Verlander. You want to make them count. His last start against the Rangers, April 15th, he gave up 1 hit and 1 earned run in 8 innings. Struck out 11. Didn't factor in the decision in that one, though. And the Rangers eventually won by a score of 3-1. 2-strike pitch to Chirinos, and he takes strike 3 call. Inning done. We're halfway there tonight. No score.
innings, no hits. 5 innings, 2 hits. A couple of walks for Cole, no walks for Justin Verlander.
Yeah, it's been fun tonight. I mean, these are intense games. They always are between these two teams. And you had 2 studs going out there. You were hoping, I'm sure both sides, their guy would throw well, and they have. Now, Evan Gattis, 8th place hitter, the DH tonight. He takes high. It's 2-0. Gattis struck out in the second.
Talking about the Astros struggling in their own ballpark. Evan Gattis has struggled here. He's 3 for 42 at home this year.
2-1 to count. Yeah, that's been rough. Overall, a 191 average for him. And if you want to go back last year, even saw a pretty steep decline in power production. But he rolls this one through into left field, and that's a base hit. Gattis is the first hit of the night for the Astros. Well, don't miss the T-Mobile Friday fireworks on Star Wars weekend. Come on out May 25th, Royals and Rangers. Afterward, the great post-game fireworks show set to the music of Star Wars. Fans can get $16 upper reserve tickets for this Friday home game, thanks to Fox Sports Southwest and T-Mobile. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials, purchase your tickets for T-Mobile Friday fireworks on Star Wars weekend. Well, a base runner. And now Josh Reddick, who takes a strike. Reddick lined out in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1.
Yeah, not accustomed to seeing Josh Reddick batting in the 9th spot in the lineup. He's hit 4th 8 times this year. He's hit 5th 15 times. 23 times he's been right in the middle of the lineup. Today he's got the chance to bat out of the 9th spot in the lineup.
His manager, A.J. Hinch, jokes a lot about the fact that his lineups change and change dramatically day by day.
I like that.
No one knows where they're going to be, it seems, except for a handful of guys, obviously. 1 down low, 1 and 2 to count.
Well, Reddick is one guy that loves hitting in this ballpark. He led the American League in home average last year. He's hitting over 300 this year in a season, early in the season, where a lot of the Astros have not caught their stride yet at home. Pitchers sure have, though.
Well, he strikes out here, 1 away in the 5th inning. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Well, Marisnick, his first at bat of the night against Hamels. He came in defensively in the top of the 4th inning after Springer had been hit in his elbow. He had left the game with a left elbow contusion. Springer considered day-to-day at the moment. So Marisnick had to take over for him. And he pulls this one foul, the count 0-2. They have Thursday off as well. Their last game was Wednesday in Oakland. He went 1 for 4 in that game, Marisnick. Started in center field. A double and a run scored. And he gets a piece of that one to stay alive. Marisnick also, he was in the lineup opening day in that ball game up in Arlington, and he hit a home run off Cole Hamels. That's when it was weird. Hamels gave up 7 home runs in the first 4 starts of the year. Since then, has really dialed that back. It's interesting because that is not a big part of the game. Guys hitting home runs off of him. But there was that little blip there for a month or so where he had a little trouble. And Marisnick, a guy who was able to take advantage of it. The hole here, though, 0-2. And outside of that moment on opening day, there haven't been many from Marisnick at the plate. A 150 average. Man at first, it's Evan Gaddis. I'm not going to comment about whether or not he might run, because I've been stunned tonight already. Little comebacker, and Hamels takes care of it. Nice dig at first. Guzman again with one of those heart-stopping digs at first with somebody bearing down on it.
And that's the third little tapper back to Cole in the last 7 hitters. Little balls that don't even roll hard enough to get to Cole. He's got to come in and get it and then make the flip to first base. Luckily, he's got a guy over there that's pretty tough to throw the ball by Ronald Guzman. Gaddis takes second on the play. Slides just a... I don't know why he slid. Just to make sure.
You signed to get your uniform dirty.
Well, that's true.
That's... Wow, we slid. Here's Altuve. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. And that one backs him off. Well, you might remember right at the beginning of the year, they're wrapping up spring training, and the Astros announced a 5-year extension for Altuve. Big contract, largest in franchise's history. And you're talking about a guy who just turned 28 years old less than a week ago. Turned 28 last Sunday. He's been an MVP, won 3 batting titles. Taking his team to the World Series title last year. And a guy who they tried and tried to turn away when he wanted to become an Astro. 2-1. The story's well told. They're down in Venezuela, and there was a tryout camp, and they told him to go home. You're too small. We're not interested. And he went home, talked to his dad about it, and his dad said, "No, we're going back." and Jose said, "No, Dad, don't worry about it. They don't want me. I don't care. We'll find somebody else." His dad said, "No, we're going back." They went back. They signed him for $15,000. And even then, as he came up in the minor leagues and was having success, Al Padrique, the guy who was instrumental in actually signing him, Al Padrique said, "We didn't think of him as more than a single AA type talent." Even as he continued to ascend, never did hit AAA. Went from AA to the big leagues, and look out.
Just got no respect because of his size.
Crazy how that would matter. Little fly ball out to right field, though, and the inning is done. So Altuve 0 for 3. We played 5 innings, no score.
pretty impressive.
They are good.
They got a problem, though. They're behind. that upside down run still only counts for one.
Tricky. It's a tricky sport. Well, 5 innings in so far here tonight. And here is Ronald Guzman. He's had a real nice night defensively at first. And Verlander starts him off with a fastball for strike 1.
If you're talking about teams that are good, how about Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh's ahead 8-2. They've scored 8 runs upside down.
Very good. 1 strike pitch. And it's 0-2 on Guzman. And I think one of the really special days for this guy was April 14th here. Just his 2nd game of the big leagues. He homered in the 8th inning of that game. A solo shot that tied it, sent us to extra innings, and then he won the game in the 10th inning.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive home run, too. If I remember right, it was an off-speed pitch that wasn't even a strike. He had to reach down for it, elevated enough to sneak it out in right field. That was a nice hit.
One of the good young ones on this Rangers team, getting a chance to learn at the big league level. I mean, no secret, were it not for injuries, he probably would not be here right now. But with the injuries that this team has had to deal with, got an opportunity a little earlier than planned. And it's been a great chance to learn up here. He's hit 3 straight, takes that one up and in. Facing a pretty good one here, former Cy Young Award winner. Verlander's 1-2. And he went. Guzman strikes out. 1 away.
Well, he had to guard against the high fastball, and then obviously you're a little more susceptible to that curveball.
All right, here comes Delino DeShields. Let's check in again with Emily.
Focus and seeing the focus and the intensity from Delino DeShields since he came off the disabled list, and he really has taken on so much more of a leadership role, not only in the clubhouse, out on the field. You can see him kind of coming into his own in that regard and really embracing that role. He says it's something that he wants. It's a title that he wants. It's a role that he wants, and he feels like he's ready for it.
I think he is, based on what we've seen. It sure seems he is.
Well, that's a good observation, Em. I'm right with you on that one. I'm seeing the same thing.
High fly ball to center field. Marisnik and Gonzalez figure it out. 2 outs. Yeah, Delino. Look, when he is in the lineup, his team about a 500 team. Go back since March 31st. During his time on the disabled list, the team went 8 games under 500, and obviously you can see the effect on the offense. I mean, 1.3 runs less per game with him not in there. Here's Chu. Now you can't draw the straight line correlation on those 2 events. There were a lot of other things that were going on there, like Odor and Elvis, Adrian Beltre all going down with injuries during that time as well. But we saw it last year, the numbers when Delino scores a run versus games where he does not. Dramatic difference in the way things work out for this team. He is the igniter at the top. And a former Astro. I mean, let's face it, he's the guy the Rangers stole from the Astros in the Rule 5 draft. And that has ended up being an excellent piece of work on the player development side.
No doubt. If he continues his development, that'll be one of the better transactions you could make. I think it's $50,000. Draft someone on a Rule 5 draft and get a front-line leadoff hitter. That's maximizing your dollars spent.
No doubt. A 1-2-3. Top of the sixth, however, and we're still scoreless. Is even better. Great pitchers duel going here tonight. Scoreless game, folks. Up on top of the rooftop out there, Union Station used to be an old train depot back in the day. Hamels starts the inning with ball one to Carlos Correa. Really seeing this great party deck up on top of Union Station. Almost always big crowded nights, weekend nights here. Group functions take place up there. Got to be a fun place to see the game. 2 balls and no strikes on Correa. Correa, Yuli Gurriel, and Alex Bregman. So the heart of the order here, 3, 4, and 5 for Houston. And this is their 3rd time through the order. They have managed just 1 hit off Hamels so far tonight. And Cole deals low. It's 3-0. Well, that was his 90th offering of the night. So warm night, humid. Pitch count starting to climb, and Hamels will need to be sharp in the 6th inning. Good zip on that fastball. Not sure where that missed. Call it high.
Generally in this game, anything that's touching the quarters is called. That's just one that was close enough but didn't get the call.
So now Hamels would love to get that ground ball here from Gurriel. Gurriel usually an aggressive hitter. And he takes strike 1.
Well, the corners have been called, especially the bottom of the strike zone. If you're able to locate it on either side of the plate, right at the lower level of the strike zone, you're generally going to get the call tonight.
Inside. 1-1. Man at first, Gurriel on an 11-game hitting streak. Gurriel last year a 33-year-old rookie. And he hit better than 300 in every single month but the month of May.
And again rolls it foul. Count stays 1-2.
Cole has definitely kept the ball away from the middle of the plate for the most part in this game. He's been around the edges all day long. The Astros have occasionally expanded the zone, but there hasn't been much they can do when they do expand the zone because the pitches have been such well-located pitches, usually down, usually off the plate, away or in. Not much the Astros can do, have done, to get the barrel on the ball.
High fly ball out to center field. DeShields wouldn't have to call anybody off to make that play. Well, coming out to the ballpark on Memorial Day weekend, the Rangers hosting the Kansas City Royals. The first 15,000 fans to the game on Sunday, May 27th, will receive a Rangers cap, courtesy of Carter Blood Care. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. We could get him a good Rangers cap. That's all he needs.
I don't know. He looked pretty happy with the one.
Well, that's true.
Not that he couldn't use another one, but looked like one of those hats when you're leaving the house. You say, "I'm going to take my favorite hat to the ball game today."
Well, it feels good. It's comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yep. Bregman is 0 for 1. Tips that one. He was hit by a pitch and tapped one back to the mound. Average came in at 259 today for Bregman. He got off to a slow start. He's picked things up. Hitting over 300 the last 20 games and takes high. You made the point earlier, a patient hitter, very disciplined eye, walks more than he strikes out. In this day and age, makes him a bit of a unicorn. A guy who has also been very flexible for A.J. Hinch and the Astros, but he rolls one to short. Second base, one. Odor on to first with a double play, and that's another twin killing for the Rangers tonight. And on Cole's 100th pitch of the evening, he finishes the 6th. This guy has certainly thrown water on the Rangers' plans to have a big offensive night. Verlander has pitched well, allowed just 2 hits so far. Nomar Mazara, though, starts it off here. His third look at Verlander, and he takes a strike.
Another ball right at the lower part of the strike zone. That gets the call. I think by now the hitters are pretty well aware that that ball is going to be a strike.
Back to a breaking ball.
Verlander's thrown 88 pitches, 66 strikes, 22 balls, 3-to-1 ratio strike to balls. Pretty good.
Mazara takes a little break. Now back in there. As one of the Rangers' 2 hits. Popped up his last time and fouls this one back. You mentioned it at the top of the show, Tom. This guy has been red hot in May.
I think the biggest thing that's led to that is the way he is improved against left-handed pitching. He's hit 3 home runs already against left-handed pitching. He's had 6 extra base hits against left-handed pitching. Last year in the whole season, he only had 8.
Hits this ball hard out into right field. That's a base hit and more. Mazara heads to second base, and he'll be in there easily with a leadoff double. A great start to the 7th inning.
And to kind of go along with what you just said, how hot he's been in May, this game's a pretty good example of it. He has not struck out. He's got a hard hit ground ball to left field, and now a double to right field against arguably the hardest pitcher right now in the big leagues to hit.
How about this right here? 11 of his last 14 hits for extra bases. That's pretty impressive.
He knocked in 2 runs in the first 16 games, and since then he's knocked in 24 in the last 23 games.
And it gives Adrian Beltre a chance here to break this scoreless tie. Adrian takes ball 1.
A lot of breaking balls to Adrian in the 4th inning in his at-bat to end the inning. Verlander got him to swing and miss at a curveball for strike 3.
Well, it's Beltre's 3rd game back from the disabled list. Already has 4 hits since coming back, although today hitless in his first 2 tries. A ground out to 3rd and then the strikeout. One of the many things that makes Beltre great is his ability to find a way to drive in that run. Doesn't have to hit a home run here. He takes outside 3-0. He may not get a great opportunity in this at bat.
Yeah, I think in this kind of a game, Verlander's going to be very careful to Adrian. He knows Adrian's the best hitter on the team, especially in this situation. And even though there's nobody out, I think he's perfectly content pitching him carefully. Hope Adrian swings the pitch out of the strike zone. If he walks him, he walks him.
They have a lot of history, and indeed he does walk Beltre, so 2 men are on. And Verlander instead will have to deal with Joey Gallo.
Well, in Verlander's mind, you've got a chance to pitch around the best hitter on the team, and the next hitters you're going to face are less experienced, younger hitters. And even though either one of the 3 guys could hit a 3-run homer and turn the game around, I think Verlander says the percentages are that Adrian has the best chance to do that. So I'm going to pitch to the other 3 guys and not him.
It's the first walk that Verlander has allowed in the last 14 innings he's pitched. Now he's facing Gallo here, who was 1 for 17 in his young career against Verlander. The one, though, is a home run. And he takes low for a ball. Gallo is grounded out to the shortstop. He's also lined out to right field. It was a rocket. And Josh Reddick just made a brilliant defensive play. Great reaction play to take a hit away. It's this ball foul. It's 1-1. Big spot for Verlander and for Gallo. It is high, 2-1. All right, our bullpen live look brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Chris Davinsky out there, Colin McHugh. A couple of right-handers. 2-1, and a swing and a miss.
Zeroing in on 100 pitches. Still throwing that ball hard, 96 miles an hour. So we got a piece of that one, had a good swing at it. We'll see where that would have gone if he did center it. And that swing at 96 miles an hour.
Gallo, a guy who's typically not looking for a cheapie. Each of his last 5 hits have gone for extra bases. Count stays 2-2. Mazara doubled to open the inning. Beltre followed with a 4-pitch walk, and now the 2-2. Full count. We talk about how hard he hits the baseball. Gallo, average exit velocity on fly balls and line drives. Right? Balls hit in the air. Only guy who hits it harder on average is Giancarlo Stanton. Better than 100 miles per hour. And those are the only 3 who exceed 100 miles per hour as an average. They're going to hit one hard here. And that's ball 4, so the bases are loaded. He walked Gallo. And it brings up Jurickson Profar, but A.J. Hinch with that fast-paced walk out to the mound.
And that was a nice job by Joey Gallo to lay off the 3-2 curveball. He'd seen a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball on that same at bat. So you have to be geared up to be able to handle that kind of a fastball, and then to be able to lay off that tempting breaking ball on the 3-2 pitch. That's pretty impressive.
Well, the Astros flinch first. Verlander coming off the field, and he leaves with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 7th.
Pretty nice numbers for Chris Davinsky. 15 innings, 18 strikeouts, great opponent's batting average. He's held the opposition to 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Stranded 8 of 9 inherited runners, but he doesn't have much margin for error here. Bases loaded, nobody out in a tie ball game. Got a good changeup, as Jurickson Profar just found out.
Profar 1 for 6 against Davinsky in his career. Oh boy, another one. Yeah, 0-2. He's clearly geared up for the heat, but Davinsky doesn't want to give it to him.
He's got a tricky delivery, kind of steps over toward first base, opens up a little bit, but the deception on his changeup is pretty obvious. Hit a little bit anxious with the bases loaded and tie ball game. Kind of plays into that changeup for Davinsky. See what he does. 0-2. He'll throw it again.
Hit into left field and tracked down out there by Marwin Gonzalez. Mazzara tags, he scores. Profar with a sac fly to left field, and the Rangers get the first run of the game.
That was a nice at bat for Jurickson. He was fooled on 2 changeups, and so Davinsky went to his fastball, which is a good fastball, and threw it high in the strike zone, hoping that after 2 changeups, Jurickson might not be able to catch up with it. But right at the top of the strike zone, he was able to catch up with it and lined it into left field to pick up a run. Nice job. Nice job of hitting right there. I can't disagree with the thought process on Davinsky that time. Unless you were to say, okay, he was way out in front of both those changeups. I'm going to throw him another one until he shows me he can wait on it. But Davinsky, I think, was almost trying to waste a fastball there high. Didn't get it quite high enough to waste it. Jurickson knocked in the first run.
It's not a given that a fly ball to left field here is deep enough to get a run in either, but I think the nature of that one, with Gonzalez running away from the plate, allowed Mazzara to score easily. That was the other thing about that one. It's a high kind of lofter out there. Oftentimes it makes it tough. So that's a big play, and now Odor. Rugi has done pretty well against Davinsky, including a home run, 3 for 10 against him. Rangers get the first run of the game. The count 0-2. That one, a foul tip, got a piece of Greg Gibson. And quite honestly, he didn't like it.
He's going to blame the pitcher. He's going to chew out Davinsky.
What a great reaction he had.
He's just walking it off a little bit.
Watch this.
He walked out to the pitcher and probably said, look, I don't have anything to say to you, but my leg is killing me right now. I just got to walk it off for a second. Which he did. Be tough to stand back there for 9 innings and take your lumps. Well, here it is. Same situation. No balls and 2 strikes after a changeup. What's he going to try to do with Odor right here? Threw Jurickson a high fastball. To Odor, another changeup.
Rugi is 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout. First game back off the disabled list today with that hamstring strain. Back on April 9th this time. And rehab back successfully. He's ready to go. He says, you know, he's full strength. He's strong enough to play, but there might be some very subtle limitations, you would think. In moments where a guy might be a little more tentative at first. But played 5 games on rehab, so got a chance to get through all the reactions that you go through in a baseball game. The 1-2 pitch, and that one is low. Good eye, 2-2. Remember, Odor, one of the great adjustments he made in spring training was he was drawing walks like crazy. He was leading the team for a while. down in Arizona in walks. And then to start the year, he managed 4 walks against 7 strikeouts prior to the injury. And he watches strike 3. That one just nibbled off the inside corner, 2 away.
That's tough. Again, tough pitch to hit after you've seen several changeups. 95 miles an hour on the inside corner. Pretty much a perfect pitch by Davinsky right there. After the prior pitches, it's not a surprise that a hitter might take that pitch, thinking number 1 it was inside, number 2 not quite ready to hit that 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
So 2 away. It's going to be up to Robinson Chirinos, and he swings and misses at strike 1. Oh, what a spot for Davinsky to come in here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Rangers have managed the sac fly and a 1-0 lead. One strike pitch to Chirinos, and he'll foul it off. It's 0-2.
Davinsky's definitely come in and thrown strikes. 8 out of 10 pitches have been strikes.
Well, including tonight, Davinsky has inherited 12 base runners and he's allowed 2 of them to score. He's a guy they really lean on. And now Chirinos asking for time. Good crowd tonight, 34,297. Opening game of this 3-game series, and Chirinos fouls it back out of play. And that roof peeled back today. Well, this is a big moment again. Top of the 7th inning. 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Chirinos went after it. The inning is done, and the Rangers will have to settle for the 1 run, but they'll take it. It's stretch time. Rangers leading 1-0. match. The Rangers and Mariners at Safeco Field. And you get first-class hotel accommodations, a meet and greet with Joey Gallo, a VIP ballpark tour, and much more. Book your trip at texasrangers.com/destinations.
Pitch arsenal for Jake Diekman. Fastball slider pitcher. 61% fastballs, 39% sliders. Fastball mid-90s, slider lower 80s. Jake comes in with a 1-0 lead as we enter the bottom of the 7th inning, and an excellent start for Cole Hamels. Gave up 1 hit, no runs, walked 3, struck out 5, and really had good stuff today. Crisp with all his pitches. Through 100 pitches, 62 strikes.
Well, Diekman goes to work now as Marwin Gonzalez, Brian McCann, and Evan Gattis do. Gonzalez 0 for 2, reached on an error his last time up. A little bit low, 2-0. Well, Diekman and Gonzalez have gotten together 5 times. Gonzalez 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but hits this one on the ground. Profar is there, turns, throws, and Gonzalez retired to start the 7th.
Nice play. Well hit ball by Gonzalez. Jurickson ran it down to the left, turned around and made a nice, strong, accurate throw. In times, as Jurickson's getting used to playing shortstop every day again, where his throws have sailed on him occasionally, but that one was right on the money.
He moves quite a bit here in the shift for Brian McCann. McCann 0 for 2. Takes low, 2-0. Well, Diekman back to full health here in 2018 and counted on to be a huge part of this Rangers bullpen. Runs that one right on the inside corner, 96 miles per hour. Came in the game Wednesday in that extra innings game against Detroit. Faced 2 hitters and was outstanding. Struck out both of them and now goes to 2-2 on McCann. And those were some big outs Wednesday afternoon for Diekman. Right back to the plate, and that one in the dirt. And McCann shoots it down that left side, and it curls away foul.
Anything that goes up in the air in that direction makes you hold your breath for a second. That one wasn't hit very well, but it doesn't have to be hit that well to go 315 feet.
Three-two. Strike 3 called, and McCann down looking. Wow, just found the edge.
Fastball right on the outside corner. Good pitch. Astros are seeing some good left-handed pitching in this game. Cole was terrific for 6. 2 outs in the 7th. Jake has been terrific as well. Astros continue to struggle at home, but I think tonight it has a little bit more to do with the pitching than the fact that they're not swinging the bats as well as at home as they are on the road.
Evan Gattis, and that one just narrowly misses for ball 1. Gattis 1 for 2. Well, these two teams met here earlier this year. Rangers took 2 out of 3 in that series. In fact, you want to go back to the beginning of 2015. Rangers are 17-11 here. Fly ball, center field, going to hang up a little bit, and DeShields gets there, and it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th for Jake Diekman. So we go to the 8th with the Rangers up by 1. To the 8th inning of this one. And the Rangers with the 1-0 lead. Ronald Guzman to lead it off against a new pitcher.
Colin McHugh is coming in for the Astros. He's adapted pretty well to a relief role when you look at his numbers. This would be his 11th ball game. They've got an ERA under 1, 19 strikeouts in 13 innings. He's a guy who, as a starter a few years ago, went 19-7 with the Astros. Last year he was injured, but still pitched well when he was healthy. And this year there was no room in the rotation. Having acquired Verlander last year, Cole in the offseason this year, McHugh was relegated to the bullpen where he's pitching exceptionally well.
Gets Guzman to pop up for the first out of the 8th inning. Go back to the top of the order now. Well, we anticipated some pretty good pitching tonight, and we have not been disappointed. Rangers have the only run on a night where there have been combined 4 hits. And here is Delino DeShields, who is 0 for 3. Delino has struck the ball well at times, lined out in the first inning. And he takes a strike from McHugh. Delino 3 for 11 against McHugh. But in a hole here, 0-2.
The Astros have a couple of guys in their bullpen, McHugh and Brad Peacock, both of whom have started in the past. They're both pitching really well out of the bullpen. Between the two of them, they've pitched 29 innings and struck out 39 batters.
And it's not like they're used for long relief. I mean, they come in some really high leverage spots and have produced.
Yep, they're being used as traditional bullpen guys, not as long men. setup guys.
You see double barrel action out there. Hector Rondon, Tony Sipp. AJ Hinch, we were talking earlier about his lineups. He's willing to put just about anybody anywhere. He, you know, handles his bullpen in a similar way. He is not going to be confined to, you know, 120 years of convention. I mean, he will move his closer around a little bit. He will handle things by situation. Who's hot, who's not. And I think the key there is he's very upfront about it. The Shields reaches out, lines this one into left field, a base hit. So great speed out there now as Delino is on with one away in the 8th. All right, so this game 1 of this series and the beginning of a long road trip as we take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Tomorrow evening, a little bit earlier, about an hour earlier tomorrow night, and then a day game on Sunday. Then it's off to Seattle for 2 quick ones Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we'll spend a 4-day weekend in Chicago. Now Chu, and this one runs way in on it. Chu has homered off McHugh in his career. Shin-Soo 3 for 13 off of him. Hits this ball into center field, base hit. So back-to-back singles in the 8th inning. Rangers maybe building on something here against Colin McHugh.
A well-stroked single by Shin-Soo, the left side of second base. Well, that came back just like a pitch, barely over McHugh's head. That was a rope into center field. Not tonight for Colin McHugh. It's been a nice season so far, but only 1/3 of an inning in this one.
So McHugh is done. Tony Sipp coming on. This Memorial Day weekend. Join the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation in remembering those who lost their lives in service for our country. American flag's going to be displayed on the North Lawn over Memorial Day weekend to honor our heroes. If you'd like to make a donation to honor loved ones with a commemorative flag, you can visit texasrangers.com/heroes. All proceeds will benefit the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation's nonprofit military partner. And here is Tony Sipp.
8th game for Tony Sipp. ERA's up there a little bit, but when you've only pitched 6 innings, it doesn't take much to get a high ERA. Have one outing where you give up 2 or 3 runs, it takes you a while to get it back down again.
Well, he draws the hot hand facing Nomar Mazara. Nomar 2 for 3, doubled in the 7th inning, and scored the Rangers' only run. In fact, the game's only run. Two for 9 in his career against Sip. Runners going, throw down to third, in time. Oh boy. And Delano DeShields caught stealing just the 2nd time this year.
That was a nice play by Bregman at third base. Looked like the throw bounced. Took a look up a little closer and make sure. Catcher has a clear shot with no right-hand hitter up there. Yeah, that ball bounced. Bregman picked it and slapped the tag down.
It was awfully close. 2 away. And 2-0 to Mazara. Oh, that one gets away. Everybody would have advanced anyway. So now Chu gets to third on the wild pitch.
Hit right off home plate. We talked about Nomar and how well he's hit left-handed pitchers so far this season. He's ahead in the count right now. Beltre's up next.
Sips 3-0. At the green light.
I don't blame him the way he's been swinging.
Well, they've talked a lot about how he's hitting lefties. You know, the other way in which Mazara has really excelled. Look at this, 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He leads the American League in all 4 of those categories. I mean, he is dialed in these spots. Chu is 90 feet away. A high pop heading foul. And with the wind here, the roof open, it goes back, but off the glove of McCann. Oh my. Boy, that is new life right there for Nomar Mazara.
It looked like the ball was going to go 4 or 5 rows back, but as it came down, it's spinning, the wind is blowing, and it really comes back on McCann right here. And as he takes a step back to catch it, he can't squeeze it. Looked like he thought the ball was going to be borderline, and it turned out it was 5 or 6 feet. Sip thought he had a tough hitter. Now he's got to try again.
Charge McCann with an error. 3-2 pitch, and that's fouled off again.
3-2 breaking ball. Nomar is able to hang in there with it.
Colin McHugh started the inning. He got Guzman to fly out to center. The Shields and Chu singled off him. He left the game. Sip has come on. And on a double steal attempt, the Shields was thrown out at third. Now an error has extended the at-bat for Mazara. The Rangers still with an opportunity to catch in a run. Here it comes. Another foul ball. This is where he gets so tough. He's going to see an 8th pitch in the at-bat, so he has worked Sip pretty well here. And you have the veteran waiting on deck. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for the Rangers. They have left 4. No runs, only 1 hit, 1 error, and 5 left for the Astros. 8th inning. Here it comes. Strike 3 called. So Mazara down looking, and the inning is done. The Rangers can't get anything out of it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 1-0.
look at Cole's night tonight. A couple of excellent cut fastballs right on the outside corner. He had a good curveball, got that for a strikeout, a changeup for a strikeout, another cutter for a good double play grounder. Just one of those nights where Cole had all his pitches working. He pitched 6 innings, only gave up 1 hit, didn't give up a run, struck out 5, threw 100 pitches, and he was tough to hit. Against the Houston Astros, last year's world champs, he set them down regularly tonight. Nice outing.
Well, Diekman comes out for another inning of work. 1, 2, 3 in the 7th inning. And he goes 1 ball, 1 strike on Josh Reddick. Just off the plate, 2-1. Well, there's just 1 hit tonight for the Houston Astros, and that was Gaddis in the 5th inning. Reddick is lined out. He's also struck out. Two and two.
We just got done talking how well Cole's thrown tonight. Jake Diekman's thrown the ball exceptionally well tonight himself. Nice 1-2-3 quick inning with a strikeout. Trying to get the left hand hitting Reddick right here.
Well, after Reddick, it'll be Jake Marisnick and then Jose Altuve in the 8th inning. Springer left the game early today after 3 innings with a left elbow contusion. And there's ball 4. So the lead man on in the 8th. And that'll bring out the skipper.
We've got 3, 4, 5 right-hand hitters coming up now. Jake might have been in there only for Reddick, the left-handed hitter.
So Diekman is done. And the lead man on for the Astros in the last of the 8th, 1-0. Is the best in Texas, and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Well, a Friday night, and Derek Fisher has been called upon here to pinch hit. Bottom of the 8th inning, 1-0 Rangers lead in this great rivalry in state. Jose Leclerc's job, try and stop him. Leclerc for the 12th time this year.
Pretty good numbers for Jose. 17 strikeouts in 12 innings. Opponent's batting average of 100. He's been extremely tough. Mid-90s fastball, that unusual changeup, and pretty good command as well. Key situation right here. He's kind of worked himself into the role
of the setup guy for Keone Kela, one of the key guys at the end of the ball game based on his performance. Right now, that's where he should be. See if he can follow it up with another good one tonight.
Well, Fisher, there are his numbers in 30 games this year. And you say to yourself, sub 200. I don't know. He's been a bit of a secret weapon for them. The go-ahead solo homer Wednesday at Oakland. He's homered in each of his last 2 games. In the last 10 games, he's delivered at a better than 300 average with a lot of extra base hits. And he takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Yep, he's been productive. He's also punched out a few times too. 29 strikeouts and 62 at bats. You make a mistake, you put a charge in it though by the looks of his numbers.
1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. So Fisher hitting for Marisnick. Leclerc ahead of him here, a ball and 2 strikes. Guy looming on deck. Jose Altuve. Roof open. A beautiful Friday night. The flag's out in center field, pointing away from the field as if it's blowing out. All the players would tell you that is not necessarily a great indication. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So a big strikeout of Fisher, 1 away.
Oh, when you look at this combination, Fisher struck out almost half the time, and Leclerc has struck out 17 or 18 in 13 innings. And the result is the strikeout pitcher got the strikeout, utilizing his off-speed pitch.
Altuve bounced into a double play back in the first. 0 for 3. And he couldn't quite reach that one at 97 miles per hour.
Looks like Jose is gaining a little confidence. Likes his role on the team as one of the key guys out there. Has to love the stuff that he has. It's just a matter of calming down and locating it. Once he's done that, it's starting to take off.
He's ahead of Altuve here, 0-2.
Ahead of Altuve, 0-2, and Altuve hasn't seen the changeup yet.
Which one?
Either one of them. All he's seen is 96 and 97.
So Leclerc struck out Fisher. He's 0-2 on Altuve. So Trinos wants it way away. Ooh, comes way in. He's 24 years old, Leclerc. Came up last year, and when he's throwing strikes, as difficult as anybody in the league. Tonight looks like he's throwing strikes. 1-2. Altuve wouldn't chase it. Now, interesting for Altuve, this may well be his final at bat of the night. He has reached base safely in 16 straight games against the Rangers, and he's hit well over 400. Some power during that stretch. Leclerc can take care of him here. Well, let's put an end to that streak. Tough to keep him off the bases. Altuve leads the major leagues right now in hits, 7th in batting average. Two. High fly ball, center field, not going to carry. The Shields puts it away, and there are 2 gone. Tagging at first, Reddick makes it to second base just barely.
Wow. Reddick slid late. His head went about 3 feet past the bag, and looked like he crashed into Odor. That ball got in on Altuve just enough. He hit it about 380 feet, hit it pretty well, but didn't get it on the barrel of the bat. Lionel knows the runner might be running. His throw is a pretty good throw, but not there in time to get Reddick.
Well, big out there. Now Carlos Correa. The Rangers will use a mound visit. Trinos out there to have a word with the clerk. There have been precious few opportunities in this ballgame, really, for both teams. Houston has had just 1 hit. They've had only 1 man get as far as second base. And that was Marwin Gonzalez in the 4th inning. He was left there until this inning. Reddick joins him after tagging up. Right in there for a strike to Correa. A couple of walks for Correa. He's also struck out. Look at those numbers at the bottom. 0 for 4 against Leclerc. 2 of those strikeouts. One and one. Fly ball, short right, long run for everybody, and a Condor gets there.
That was a fair ball, too.
Wow.
It'll be a tough play for Rougned, but fortunately, Ronald Guzman, with his back to the plate, concentrates and catches it in fair territory.
Astros have had to use today. And Hector Rondon, the new pitcher.
Good numbers for Rondon. We've seen a lot of relief pitchers coming into the games. The game tonight with nice numbers. Almost every one of them has more strikeouts than innings pitched. That's not a surprise.
So Adrian Beltre starts things off, and he takes a good fastball for a strike. Ninth inning, 1-0. Rangers with 5 hits to the Astros 1. Adrian walked his last time up. Takes a real big swing at that one. And Beltre strikes out swinging. So 1 away in the 9th inning. All right, time for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock, only at southwestkia.com.
Okay, Joey Gallo now. Nobody on base here in the 9th inning. Gallo walked. He's also lined out, grounded out. He's 1 for 1 against Rondon. Big shift against him, per usual. He takes very high for a ball. There you see it. Outfield also plays to pull. So really, I mean, there's a lot of real estate on the left side of the field. We were noting earlier on a shift against Mazzara. Infield played him to pull, outfield played him the other way. And you see that really very often with most hitters. This is one where they are very committed. I mean, look at it. There's nobody on that left side at all. All 4 infielders now on the right. Nobody in left field. There's a strike. It's 2-1.
He floated it right at the bottom of the strike zone. It's been a strike all night long.
Hard ground ball up the middle. High skip off the mound. And for the post in time.
Yeah, he didn't have much time to get that ball over there and almost took too much time. Really getting down the line pretty well for a big man.
A nice play by Bregman. Strong arm. And with 2 away, here is Jurickson Profar. And he's driven in the only run in this game for either team. Profar with a sac fly in the 7th inning. There's more anecdotal evidence of the power of not striking out. The bases loaded spot, nobody away. The great job was that he put the ball in play. It allowed a run to get in. As it would turn out, it would be the only run. Despite a bases loaded, nobody out spot, Odor struck out, Chirino struck out, and the inning was done after Profar's sac fly. Rondon's 1-1. Strike 2. One-two pitch. Profar lays off. First time these two have ever squared off against one another. Rondon. There's a swing, a soft liner up the middle on a short hop. Altuve pulls across his body. And it's a 1-2-3 top of the 9th. Well, the Rangers with a 1-0 lead, and they're going to turn it over to Keone Keller when we come back. All right, Keone Kela on to try and slam the door here in the 9th inning. 1-0 Rangers lead. First pitch and a bouncer to third base. Beltre fires across and he takes care of Gurriel, one away. Well, tomorrow's probables brought to you by Ford, and note the time. We start a little earlier tomorrow, 5:30 for the pregame. Doug Fister has been brilliant in his 2 road starts, a 1.74 ERA, but he draws a tough one. And Charlie Morton, really good this year. 12 strikeouts, 6 innings in the start against the Rangers on April 14th here.
The only hit the Astros have had today was a roller by Evan Gattis, little ground ball that was just perfectly located between the shortstop and the third baseman. There's been a couple of balls hit hard, but for the most part, the Ranger pitchers have dominated this great lineup for the Astros. Keone a lot like Diekman. Fastball, curveball. Jake would be fastball, slider.
1-0 to Bregman. It's too tall. Well, Kela has been pretty consistent in this role. Jeff Bannister has entrusted him some very big spots. He goes 3-0 here on Bregman. You do not want to put the tying run on for free in the 9th inning. Goes without saying, but I just said it. 7 saves for Kela, 3 wins, a 5.14 ERA. And he grooves that one. 3-1. Well, the lowest hit total this year for the Astros has been 3. They've been held to 3 hits a couple of times. Today, just the 1. Pitch to Bregman. That's a beauty. Strike 2 call.
Great pitch. He's going to have a hard time hitting that pitch at 97 miles an hour. Right near the outside corner. Moving away from Bregman. Right touching the corner.
Bregman battling. 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Last time up, he didn't do a double play. Takes high, that's ball 4. So, Bregman is aboard. And Kela will have to keep an eye on it because he can be an aggressive base runner.
Oh, Marwin Gonzalez is a dangerous guy to have up there. His last 3 weeks, he's hit over 300. He's a guy that hit 23 home runs and knocked in 90 runs last year. So he's got some power.
So Bregman on at first. Infield looking for a ground ball, the chance to turn 2. And Kela, good breaking ball right in there for a strike. Marwin Gonzalez has been tough on the Rangers over the years. And a bouncer, foul. 0-2. Last year, Marwin hit 5 home runs against the Rangers. He was 22 for 62, a .355 average, and drove in 18.
Wow, that's a pretty good year against the Rangers. Yeah. I didn't know the numbers, but I knew it was pretty good. Just thinking back to what he did.
Kela's ahead 0-2 though. And he got him swinging. Big strikeout, 2 away.
Well, he knows that Keone's got the 98-mile-an-hour fastball. And even though you only have to be aware of 2 pitches, when they're that quality, 98-mile-an-hour fastball and that good, sharp, overhand curveball, that's plenty. Looked like you might have a chance to hit it, and it just nosedives right at the end. Sharp breaker.
Well, needs just 1 more out now. Mound visit is Chirinos heads out there after the throw over to first base. Kellis shooting for his 8th save of the year. It's only faced McCann a couple of times, walked him once, struck him out once. Runs that one way inside. It's been a long time since the Rangers have won a game 1-0. Gonna go back to July last year against Kansas City.
Keone's making sure he keeps track of Bregman over at first base, and rightfully so in a 1-run ball game.
Two balls, no strikes. Evan Gattis waits on deck.
Close.
(2-0), and that is off the plate. Well, in danger now of walking McCann and forcing the potential tying run into scoring position for that guy. Evan Gattis, 1 for 3, has the only hit tonight for the Astros. He's swinging 3-0.
He was looking to get a hold of one. Expanded his zone just a little bit. Ball might have been a little bit low.
The crowd pretty reserved at the moment. Crowd of better than 34,000 here. Our Astros 24-15 and in first place in the division, and there's a swing and a miss. It's a full count.
Another pitch might have been slightly out of the strike zone. A fastball low and a fastball high. Now this one Bregman will be running. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Well, it gets everybody up. Loud enough that Keller was unaware of what was going on there with everybody calling time at the plate. Bregman with a good lead. He's going, the 3-2. And there it is. A McCann of corn out into left field. Gallo is there. And this one is done. And the Rangers shut out the Astros 1-0. And it's their first shutout against the Astros since 2014. Well, that's a nice tasting win right there.
Boy, it sure was. You knew, well, you didn't know, but you sure felt like it was going to be a well-pitched game on both sides tonight. The Astros haven't scored many runs at home.
Verlander's been so tough all season long. Cole Hamels has been throwing the ball well, and the pitchers didn't disappoint tonight. Cole had really nice stuff tonight. 6 innings, only gave up 1 hit. Justin Verlander was pretty good on his own right. Let's take a look at the package for Cole Hamels. Good cut fastball tonight. He used it on both sides of the plate. Backdoored the last 2. Curveball, sharp breaker, down and in. A nice changeup. Got a good fastball today. Threw that cutter in. He got the ground ball for a double play. All in all, that was excellent stuff for Cole tonight. 1 hit, no runs through 6 innings. And he had to be at his best because Justin Verlander was really good again tonight. Verlander faltered a little bit in the 7th, gave up the 1 run. And Jurickson Profar's sacrifice fly to left field proved to drive in the only run of the ball game. Well-pitched game, well-played game. Great win as the Rangers start a road trip.
Yeah, indeed. And for a guy who doesn't get much run support, Cole Hamels didn't get much tonight, but it was enough to get him the win nonetheless, just his 2nd of the year. And Justin Verlander, a guy who wins pretty much every time he goes out, took the loss, and he goes to 4-2. Jurickson Profar drove in the run today. He's our guest with Emily.
Thank you very much, Jurickson. A big win for you guys and really an all-around win. What was this one like?
It was great performance by Cole. You know, he gave us 6-7 innings. And, you know, we only scored 1 run, but, you know, we're playing a great team, and we did a good job showing, you know, what kind of team we have.
When, as a hitter, when it is looking like it's going to be a pitcher's duel like that, does that change your mind frame at all when you're in the box?
Not at all. You know, we're always trying to grind, and we know we're facing, for me, the best pitching staff in this league. You know, so we got to be on, and sometimes it's going to be a game like this, like 1 run, 2 runs, that's it.
For you personally, how are you feeling, just comfort level wise?
I'm getting very comfortable. You know, just playing every day, and it's helping me.
And then finally, just to start off this series with a win in the opener, something you guys haven't been able to do. What's the importance of that setting the tone for the series and the road trip?
It's important for us every win, but especially when we're playing our division rival. You know, so. A win today it's feeling great, and we're going to be back tomorrow and trying to win again.
Jurickson, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. We'll send it back now up to you.
All right, thanks, Emily. So this team getting healthier and playing well these days, and a nice 1-0 win today. Great way to start it. Dana Larson, Mike Bassick, and Mark McLemore back in the studio ready to break this one down for you. For Tom Grieve, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. More coverage of tonight's win coming up right after this.